Libby, tell me, when you're talking about, an employee putting in like 10 hours of work every day, with your research, do they really work for 10 hours? Or the actual work happens much less? And it is actually the politics and the toxicity which is actually brewing most of the time in work cultures that takes a lot of time.
Yeah, when I was talking, just a moment ago about, this presenteeism, I think that's exactly what we're talking about here. Because no, people will say to me, of course, we're not working for 10 hours, a day. And with the pilots that are going on at the moment for the 4-day work week, one of the things that they're doing in those pilots is to go into companies and say, hey, what are all the things that we can stop doing here? Where are all the inefficiencies that are playing out that we can actually look to save time that we might otherwise be wasting? But I'm sure everyone, of your listeners can relate to, being at work and, having plenty of time where you think this is just a waste of time. We're having too many meetings. We didn't need to have this meeting. We could have sent an email. We're going out for coffee where there's people wandering around the office just chatting, and of course it's important for us to have that social connection, but it's that idea that work can expand to fulfill the time that's available for its completion. And so, if you think, well, I have to be in the office for 10 hours or 12 hours because the boss is here for that long, or I'm expected to be here for that long, we're not being productive for that long. Knowledge workers probably, we know can't work at a highly productive level on concentrated cognitive work for that length of time. So there are all these other things that creep in.
How many, I'm just butting in here. How many hours is actual productive work according to the research?
Well, of course, it varies depending on, different jobs, and varies on different individuals. But, there's some thought that, knowledge workers really have sort of 3 to 4 hours a day when they're able to do that highly concentrated knowledge work. And then after that, we're filling the time with perhaps things that obviously still need to get done, like administration and, all kinds of things. But this idea that we can just come in, day out, and do this highly analytical, critical, creative, cognitive work for 8, 10, 12 hours a day is just not reality.
So we're talking about just 3 to 4 hours of real deep work, productive work, and actually the remaining time is mostly going to be into other things, maybe admin work or, whatever the culture of the country promotes.
Exactly that. We spend a lot of time in meetings. We spend hours and hours of our week in meetings, depending on the company, and sort of, as you said, perhaps trying to do things, write reports for people who aren't even there anymore that we don't actually need to do. So there's always a lot of things that we can look, how could we do this better? How could we do this differently? And they're really important conversations to have in every company, to continually revisit that concept that, just because we've always done it this way doesn't mean that it's actually working well, and it doesn't mean we should continue to do it this way.